absolutely. So I think a key factor of having success in our Zero Trust journey is executive sponsorship. So right from the top, starting with Treasury Board Secretariat's guidance and framework on Zero Trust as the beginning point. Last year, we came out with the GC Enterprise Cybersecurity Strategy. And so those were kind of like the flagship pieces that we needed to have to ensure that we're headed in the right direction. With leadership support from highest senior leadership, this is how we moved the organization towards Zero Trust. So having executive sponsorship and leadership is key. Yeah, so the threat landscape has changed quite a bit and rapidly. I would say phishing and ransomware are probably some of the things that affect us most frequently. And so with a Zero Trust network architecture approach, what that allows us to do is prevent from the beginning the attack. If the attack is successful, to contain it as you go through. So I'll give you an example without getting too technical. So if we're talking about a ransomware attempt, so a phishing attempt, let's say you get through to an individual who through an email received a phishing email. Unfortunately, they click the email. The attacker gets into a part of your network. From there, if you have a Zero Trust network architecture, you're going to continually ask that individual, are you authorized to get to the next step? And so if you don't have a Zero Trust network, once that bad actor is inside your home, they can go anywhere. But with a Zero Trust network architecture, let's say the phishing attempt worked, ransomware payload, they're trying to get in, you're stopping them and you're asking them, are you authorized to get through? Are you not? And then this way you can, with those layers of security, prevent phishing and ransomware. There's a couple. So I'll maybe talk a little bit about identity management. So I think everybody's familiar with passwords. One of the things that we absolutely must do is have strong authentication. In other words, multi-factor. So how many times have you had to, okay, I'll punch in my banking PIN and then through another text, you enter the PIN code. So those are factors of authentication. So the Government of Canada also has that, interacting with CRA. I think you've had that experience as well. But those are ways in which you can identify somebody strongly and say like, okay, yeah, that's Joanna Murphy. And then from there, it continues. It's not just like once you're in. As you're getting more and more closer to, say, crown jewels of the organization, you continually interrogating, maybe that's not a good word, but like continually asking the person to confirm they are who they are and they have access to that. And so that's what you call like the layers of security, and that's multi-factor authentication. So that's a key tool. Another one I would say, and this is Shared Services Canada, we're responsible for providing secure networks. And so some of the things that we are implementing are endpoint security. So in today's world, in the GC, we have workers that are on the field with tablets that use Internet of Things. We've got people with mobile devices, laptops, tablets, and they're everywhere. So we need to be able to protect those endpoints, make sure that we know that normal behavior is happening on that endpoint. And then if we detect something anomalous, to quickly react and either shut that endpoint down or react in some other way to protect ourselves from a possible attack. I think that AI will really come to bear. We currently do use AI more in the machine learning area to look at anti-DDoS, our application firewall. So looking at signatures and what is anomalous. I think that just the rapid pace of development of AI is really going to come to bear, both on a malware standpoint, so we have to be prepared, but also in a beneficial way in that we'll be able to be harnessing AI to help, for example, security analysts to get more intelligent information about signatures and, is this an anomalous situation? And so that the security analysts can be doing their job like more rapidly with more intelligent information. I would say that women have kind of a superpower of communication. So, maybe this is my own personal opinion, but in the world of cyber, in the world of tech, it can be very technical when you start talking about architectures and zero trust and firewalls. And so when you're in a leadership position, communication is really key. And how to translate something that is like very technical, but extremely important in plain language to the audience. So whether it be your customer, whether it be senior officials, whether it's the minister's office, just translating that, perhaps very technical language to communicate that in a way that makes sense to your audience is key. And I have to say that I think that women in cyber have a knack for that. So I think that, for women, don't be afraid. It was, I think, at a time very male dominated. I would say still, like many a time I'll walk into a room and I might be one of two females. But don't be discouraged. If you think it's a cool area to work in, dive in. I love it. It's my jam. So that's what I would say. Well, I would say the networking. I really enjoyed meeting new people today. I spoke in one of the keynotes, and when you share about the things that you're doing and your experiences, all of a sudden people feel welcome to come and talk to you about their experiences, and maybe they want to hear some advice. So I really enjoyed making those connections. Even the trade area, looking at the different products, like many I'm familiar with, but other ones are new. Tell me about your product. So I think that private-public discussion, dialogue is critical. I was very fortunate to have a nice networking lunch as well, and I met some new colleagues from EDC, from the Government of Ireland, from agriculture. So just creating those spaces for dialogue. We are all dealing with some pretty gnarly problems, but sometimes as you work it through, you get different ideas. So yeah, I would say that's the best part.